Hello, everybody. This is Sean, and welcome to a new series that I'm going to try out here today. I am a photographer. I'm just a hobby photographer. I don't do it for a living or anything, but I really enjoy taking photos. And I go through and I don't get out a whole lot, but when I do, I come home and I have my photos and I sort through them. And I usually only end up showing one or two photos at the end of the day. So today we had some snow here in Portland, and as you can see, I went out and took some pictures of the snow and some just downtown scenes with the snow in them, and I'm kind of looking forward to it. I don't know which one I'm going to like the best. I can see quite a few that look promising. And so I thought I'd let you watch me go through and sort these, and maybe that will be interesting to you. There are several steps to the sorting. Normally, when I go out and take pictures, I take 150 or 200 photos at a time. Sometimes, I guess not as much anymore, but I used to do that a lot. And then I I have to go through and sort through them. I only took 55 today, so it really won't take that long to sort through. So let's go ahead and get started. We've got them all checked. We're going to go ahead and import it. Some of these right off, I know I'm just going to throw away because these were the test photos while I was getting my camera ready. So we're going to go in here to develop, and then we can just start seeing each one of them up close. So you can see I was just setting up my camera here. And what I like to use for these is I like to use the P, which will flag it for a pick, and then U for unflag for a pick. And so basically I'm just going to pick out any that are worth holding on to here. So, I do all my like getting the lighting and stuff. I just handhold those. I don't really need to worry about setting it on the tripod. So this is probably my tripod test shot. It really doesn't look too bad. And yep, there you can see I turned up the exposure because you can see the pedestrian that was visible in that last one, not so visible now. And I should start having some cars. There's a car going through there. But I feel like yeah, there we go. There's one with the Max going through. Kind of like that, but the lights really dominate the photo. That one is a little too far away. I think we're going to go with that one. How's this one look? Yeah, I don't like that one very much. So there's going to be our pick out of this batch. Jump to the next subject. So I went up to the top of a parking garage, but unfortunately the very top was closed off. So I made the best I could. Shooting from here, I think this is going to be the test shot. Yeah, I think I did. I think I deleted my test shots actually on scene. But this looks all right. It's not too great. Focus is nice and sharp though when you zoom in. I just don't think it's all that impressive of a photo. I think one of these two are probably going to be better. I'm not a big fan of the vertical alignment. I can already tell I'm not going to be thrilled with this photo because that sky, blah, so boring. But we'll pick it. It's still the best of the little group there. Way too many trees in front of the library from this vantage point. I think I figured that out here pretty. I guess I didn't figure it out, unfortunately. I do not like those trees. Luckily, I think I took another photo of the library after this one. So this was a test, a little too dark. It's not too bad though. I don't like all that rooftop that you can see there though. So this photo of the library is a little better, but boy, still so many trees everywhere. Really have to get up to the top to be able to get a nice clean photo of the library. That's a shame. And here you can see, like this isn't too bad. I like the taqueria here. It's so bright and colorful. And actually these buildings, they make a nice little matchup down there. But when you can see all those air conditioning vents and everything up top, it really does kind of take away from it. Again, we got the tree here kind of blocking some of the interest, like those cars driving by, really blocked out by that tree. So I'm just not impressed by that group of photos altogether. Down here, I was definitely trying to avoid having that be in the scene here, but I know I could crop it in. I think this is also just a test shot. It's really cold out there, so I didn't spend a whole lot of time on each one. I usually took one or two test shots and then tried to focus on getting a good shot. Now this I think would have been the one that I was counting on. It looks like I change. You can see down here, it looks like I changed scenes. So this is probably the one that I thought was going to be the winner. And I will say it still is. Now that Starbucks, oh, you can see I must have bumped the camera or something. That's too bad. You can see it there too. Well, that's a shame. So that's why you take multiple photos, though. This one, you can see it a little bit here too. I should have been using my shutter release, to be honest. Um, this is why, I mean, I brought it with me and everything. But we're going to say this one's good enough. This one looks nice and sharp. Must be a test shot. This one's got good bus action going on there. I do like that. And nothing really happening in that one. Slightly better angle. But this one, I think it's got to be the bus. Yeah, because then we move after that. So we're going to go with this one. Unfortunately, with this setup, I was setting up and I like this scene here. But then you're going to notice a couple of cars pull in and get in the way, like just before the train goes by too, unfortunately. But these are not too bad. I don't really like those halos there. That's not so bad, but then boom, there you go. Those cars are there. They stayed there so long that I left. I tried to wait them out and it didn't work. But you know what? We're gonna go. I don't like those. I don't know if I mentioned that. Those halos up there. Those are really hard to get out too. So I think I don't like this angle as much. And it's a not so decent exposure. Um, but the lights look fairly sharp. You can still see where the camera moved. And on this one, the lights are even sharper, but it's got those halos. Boy, it's a tough, you know what, we're going to go with this one. I like the reflection from that car there. All right, so yeah, you can see I was like, oh, maybe with the train going by, but no, because this lady took forever to get out of her car. So I went across the street, and over here, I kind of like the framing of this one. I should have kept those seals in there, I think. Oh, that looks crooked. It's not so bad. I'd have to straighten it out. No, it's not so good either, though. How about this one? That's not too bad. I still think I like this one all right. No, look at all. Boy, that camera really moved in that one. So is it going to be this one? Sometimes the first shot is the best shot. Looks like it's pretty sharp. Still some movement. Oh well. Ugh. This was looking so good, and then this TriMet car pulled up. I had to wait a long time, but I did wipe my lens off. You could see I was getting some specks on there from the snow. Some cars going by. I didn't even notice that crane there. Blah. Well, forget it. That's, yeah, just not good enough. All right, this is looking the other way over by the courthouse. Kind of like the empty shot. And so I'm glad I took it just so I can have something to work with in case I don't like how these turn out. That's it, huh? I guess I didn't want to wait for the train to come by. Usually better to go with the light trails. It looks like it's pretty sharp otherwise, so we'll go with light trails. And I tried to do this one real fast because I knew that train was coming. These are the test shots. And I think I only got the one off before the train got there. It's a pretty good shot. Better than the one with the train leaving. So we're going to take it. And this is right around the corner from where I live. If it wasn't for this car there, I would be pretty happy with this. I could crop it up pretty good, but I don't like that car. I don't like the car there either. And is this focus? Oh boy, camera really moved for that one. I get in closer, you can really see it too, which is a shame. How about this one? It's not too bad. Maybe I can do something with that. Nope. Yeah, like so much, looked like real potential there with the hill and the curves and all that stuff. Oh, that's the last one. All right, so we've got our winners. So let's, we're going to filter unflagged photos only, and I am not sentimental. These are all going to be deleted. Delete. except it doesn't work if you do it that way. Cancel. Let's try it like this. Remove photos, delete from disk. There we go. So now we're down to 9. All right, well that shouldn't be too hard to narrow down. Let's turn that to any flag status. And let's see, nothing's going to be repetitive in there, is it? I like this one a lot. Like this one a lot. Really, this one is not bad. It's going to be tough to narrow this down. Well, I'd say this one's too bright. This one we can just write off right away. Those two are very similar, so we should pick out the one that we like better between those two. And these two are not worth considering, really. I just want to have flagged photos this time, flagged only. All right, so I have a couple of secret sauces that I use here. My Nightline and Baseline are my two basic ones. So Baseline is going to give us a really high temperature on this. Maybe I need to drop that down. That seems a little low. That's good. I'd say the tint is pretty neutral. I didn't mean to do that, but I kind of like what it did to the photo actually. So I might have had it a little overexposed, huh? Like that maybe. I'm gonna bring down the highlights a little more. I feel like the shadows may be a little strong already actually. And what does clarity do here? Kind of like the way that looks. Vibrance, I think we want to keep the vibrance on. Yeah, it gives it a real, I don't know, like just it feels real warm. And saturation, I think we want to leave where it is. Yeah, not too high. 15 usually works out pretty well for me. I've been playing with bringing the clarity down lately, especially with these night photos, and I really like the kind of soft effect that it has on them. But I think that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and, whoops, I want to keep the original. So we're going to bring that in like that. I don't really need that Nordstrom sign in there either. A lot of wasted space over here. Now we're cutting off the top of the tower there. So if I do that, looks like it's pretty well framed. Good, I like it. All right, and the temperatures look real nice too. So we're going to update our temp with that temp, and we could probably use that for the rest of these photos because they're all taken at about the same time. I like that. Looks real nice. I don't like these garbage cans over here. So, whoops, why is it unlocked again? Lightroom, you confuse me. So let's get that garbage can out of there. Staples can stay in, I suppose. Again, we got a bunch of wasted space over here with that building. I don't mind cutting off the top of that one. I like having the tree in here. Maybe if I go up a little, I won't have those staples in there. I kind of like cutting off the top of the building in the background. I don't know. What was my first? Yeah, that wasn't enough. And we went back. Great. And then we went to here. You know, that's actually pretty good. So let's stick with this one. And I would say, how's our exposure looking? Do I want to bring it out a little bit more? Oh, that is really bright. That's not too bad though. Do we have any clipping? Nah, not any clipping that counts. All right, we're gonna go with that one for that one. Here, oh boy, that is so orange over there. Really gonna throw off the potential for this photo, having that but like that's part of the charm too, is to have that old building over there. It really looks uh, the perspective on it looks kind of crazy too. Can I bring this up a little bit? Maybe tighten it in, kind of make it not loom so much. I don't like losing that much of the image. I'd say that's pretty good, but uh, it doesn't quite have the feel that I want. This really stands out, and I know that I could go through and probably lay a mask, or you know what I mean. Like I could, because I have Photoshop as well, and I could bring the color out of that. But this also got those little sundogs in there, or whatever those things are. So you know, that's too bad. This image had so much promise. This one, it always looks like it's going to be terrible until it clears up there at the last second. All right, so that didn't improve it the way I might have hoped. Let's go with a baseline, and we're going to drop the temperature a little bit. Maybe bring it up a little higher than that. That looks not too bad. Exposure, up or down, huh? I don't know about up. So let's try, actually, maybe up a little bit. I kind of like that. It's bright, but it's not too bright. Yeah, the masking is pretty reasonable there. Bring the highlights down a little bit. What happens if you bring them down all the way? Nothing really, so must mean they don't have too much of an effect. We don't need to have any shadows up, but I don't really need to bring them down either. We're going to drop the clarity. See, I like the clarity on this one. It gives it a kind of an interesting feel, the low vibrance feel like that. Yeah, I kind of like that too. Maybe low saturation as well. A little more saturation. Oh wow, that's more than we started with. Yeah, I kind of like that. Do I need to crop it at all? I could get rid of this car over here. Or get rid of most of that car over there. I want to keep the seals in there. And I want to keep those snowflakes in the lamp. But that looks pretty good. The car doesn't stand out nearly as much. All right, I'll take that one. And our last image, as a matter of fact, let's update temp 2 with current settings, update. And look over here, so temp 1, oh, that looks really nice. And temp 2 looks pretty good in its own way, but you know what? I think I like the first one better. And maybe drop the exposure just a little more on this one. And we're gonna crop it down a little bit, I think. Maybe I don't really like that sign right there, so I'm gonna try to get rid of it. I do like the trees. Also, the building over on the right here does kind of loom and dominate the frame over there, which I wouldn't mind minimizing a little bit. Doesn't look quite as loomy there. All right, so I probably would want to get rid of that. Actually, why not just get rid of it? Why say probably? I'm making this video so you guys can watch. Whoa, that's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, yeah, sure. Undo ad spot removal. That's exactly right. All right. So what I'm trying to do here is a spot, and it just needs to be bigger. That is a big spot like that, and then we'll. I don't know. Oh boy, that is a weird decision that you've made for. Sorry, it's 10 o'clock. That's what that alarm means. Weird decision that you've made for where to draw that from, but how about you draw it from like there? See, that doesn't look too ridiculous. A little more, I want those branches to line up. That's pretty good. Great, close. And how does it look back at a normal? I'd say it looks better than it did. We ended right there. So we had that big old bright thing, and now it's not nearly as bright. And you can hardly tell that yeah, wow. Good job. All right, so, well, we've narrowed it down a little bit. I'd say I like this one between those two. And this one has just got that, it's too bad. I mean, I could really crop it down, but then what's the point? I like this one a lot as well. And the first one, I like the first one, but like I know, and I can see it too. I can see that blur. No, you know what? That's not a blur, is it? That's the depth of the, because you can see how nice and clear. Like, yeah, look at those lights inside the Starbucks. If I were to look up here, I'd be able to see any movement. And there's not any movement there, so this does not look blurry. Well, I like this one a lot too, and this is a more iconic image. So we're going to give it a 1. All right, so now we're down to 3. Which 3 or which one of these 3 is going to be my favorite? I think it's going to be this one. I like this one a lot, but doesn't have those snowflakes up in the trees, and I'd say the light trail is a little too dominating. Over here, I like those light trails. Actually, those are pretty good. But it's got the garbage cans and those newspaper bins right there. It's got the best building in town, though. And this one, yeah, this one's got a pretty good light trail, though. And it's got the beautiful trees. It's too bad this bear's facing away from me. If I could have gotten this kind of feel with the seal one. But I think this will be the winning shot. See, it's really hard to go with that one when I could go with this iconic one. Like, people love seeing these kind of scenes, but you know what? It's going to be this one. So there we go. There is how I come up with my photos. I hope you've enjoyed watching this. If you did, leave me some comments. This is the first video of this type that I've made. And I plan on making some more. So if you have feedback on what I can do to make it more entertaining, if you want me to spend more time on one thing or less time on something else, let me know. I know that you know, maybe I didn't do a whole lot of processing, but that's because I don't do a whole lot of processing. And I am an advocate of kind of a minimal level of processing. You find some decent presets that like these presets I made all myself. And they were just based off of trial and error, and you know, you find some presets that work pretty well for you, and you can really minimize your time. So anyways, leave me comments, let me know what you think. I appreciate you watching, and I guess that's it. Goodbye.